Hello, I'm Natalia, and today I'll be making Anya's dress from the movie Anastasia. It's this yellow dress she wears in the beginning. Let's get started. So hi, I actually filmed this video a year ago, and I started making the dress, but I didn't finish the cosplay until this year, so I'm finally making this video. It's also been a little bit since my last video, but 2020's been a little crazy, so alright, so these are my fabrics I got. They're like a $2 for 2 yards kind of deal from Walmart, and then I also got these buttons there. They look kind of rustic and older, so they worked good. So I already owned this sweater that is loose fitting and has the same silhouette that the top of her dress has, so I thought it would make a good base to start with. As you can see, the shoulder seam is off of my shoulder, and that matches where her seams are as well. So here I'm just laying out my fabric flat and getting ready to trace my sweatshirt. It's not a very exact process. This outfit is already kind of loose fitting, so I didn't worry about it being exact or being super nice. What I do is I just laid my shirt down and then cut about a ½ inch away from all of the seams, since that's the seam allowance I usually work with. I'm stopping at the other armhole because this is where I fold it in half so that it has perfect symmetry. I'm not worrying about it having a specific front and back, again, because it's not a very fitting garment. I even out both sides, and I have a front and a back. I do change the neckline of the front piece just to make it a little easier to get on. As you can see, I take like about an inch lower, and these are them lined up on top of each other. Next, I'm going right into the sleeve, just using that extra bit of fabric and using the same method. The sleeve already only has one seam on it, so the rest I put on fold, and then just cut a ½ inch away from all of the actual seams. And I didn't cut out the wrist cuff, I cut it a little bit shorter than that because I'm going to add a separate cuff. And then I used the pattern that I cut for the first sleeve just to mirror it again. Alright, so I've sewn the two shoulder seams together, and now I'm going to clip where the arms will go in. Again, since there isn't a specific front or back regarding the sleeves, it's symmetrical on both sides, so I just pin the middle to the middle seam, and then clip all the way around so it stays in place while I'm sewing. And I go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm using clips here just because I really like them, but you can use pins just the same, or you can just go for it and sew it without clipping it down, but I like to make sure it's secure so it's not sliding around and getting uneven while I'm sewing. Alright, now that that's all sewn together, it's starting to look like a shirt. I just even out some of the edges that are not quite matching. And then I'm going to get ready to sew the side seams and the bottom of the sleeves. I start by matching up the seams in the armhole, so like the armpit area, just making sure that the seams line up and match each other and look nice. Then from that point, I pin all the way down the side seam, and then basically do the same thing all the way down the arm seam. I do this because it makes sure that that seam really lines up. You could just start from the bottom of the sleeve or the bottom of the shirt and then go all the way around in one sew, but doing this ensures that those lines will match up. Now once that is all sewn together, I wanted to try it on and make sure I could actually get into it since I didn't have any other closures, and it worked good. This fabric didn't have any stretch, but again, because it was looser fitting, I didn't necessarily need it. That's why I wanted to do a fit and make sure that I could actually slide into it. Now I'm laying out the rest of my fabric to make it the skirt. I'm just going to cut along the bottom so that the edges will match up nicely. And I did record this section a year ago and upload it straight to my computer, which is why this is where it just freezes. I have no explanation for it. I think the footage just cut out here. I technically recorded like 10 more minutes, but hopefully I can just explain through these pictures. What I'm going to do is line up the top of the skirt to line up with the bottom of the shirt, just match those lines there, and then I just kind of make it into a slight A-line. It's not the best process, I just kind of figured it out. When I figured out how short I wanted it to be, that's when I added the cuts in. Again, I don't have the footage of how I did the cuffs or the top cuff slash placket, but I'll try my best to explain it here. The 3 buttons that go down the front, it's just a rectangle with that sewn straight down. They don't open. The top cuff is just one big cuff that overlaps so it can have that button closure in there. And then the wrists are just basic cuffs. Sorry, I can't show you the sewing process of it. I'll definitely try to in the future. You can see where I cut it on the bottom. I actually made it a bit shorter than hers is. Hers goes closer to my ankles, but I made mine a bit shorter. So this is how I close it up, just one button. It just normally slides over my head and then I just close this to complete the look. Next I have my belt. She has a thicker belt. This is just my belt I wear every single day, so I just used it. I tighten it to my natural waist size and then just tuck in the excess. I also make sure that the seam gets hidden. I just hide it right under the belt, and that's also how I know exactly how much to pull up from the top. Next, I have this scarf. I also got it from Walmart. It's great for the winter and also for this costume. She has a purple scarf in the movie, normally tucked into her coat, but since I don't have that, I just tuck it into my belt, and that worked just fine. Next, I have her boots. Well, they're just my old muddy boots, but they work fine. Then we have her wig, which I styled myself. It's a little rough, but it works. I just had a longer wig and cut it and styled it to match. I just slide on my wig and I'm good to go. Next, I have my little gloves. I think I got these from Target, but you can kind of get them from anywhere. Then my favorite part is this necklace that I got from my grandma this year. I absolutely love it. It's a replica of Anya's from the movie, and the back even says "Together in Paris." I love it so much, and it was the perfect gift to get from her. It just has a little closure on the back. I lock it in place, and I'm ready to go. So I don't have her coat or hat, but I didn't mind too much. I just wanted to have the base of this costume finished. And here it is all together. I did also use some black tights as well for the bottom. You can also use leggings though if you want to be a little bit warmer. I think the final look came together so well. It really looks like her dress from the movie, and I had so much fun being in it. Here are some pictures that we took. Alright, and that's the video. I hope you enjoyed and that this mini tutorial helped you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!